if you could journey into the afterlife and actually come back to tell the story? Well, today we're diving into a really remarkable account from 1999 that claims to do just that. We're going to follow a woman's guided spiritual journey into the underworld to see what she found. A surprisingly structured vision of karma, consequences, and maybe even a little redemption. So let's start with the absolute core idea of this entire experience. You really have to get this one thought in your head, because everything else we're about to see is built on it. It's simple, but pretty profound. Forget about your money, your job, your status. In the realm we're about to enter, the only thing you carry with you is the sum total of your actions and your intentions. That's it. That's the only currency that matters. All right, let's get into it. Our guide on this trip, our first-hand witness, is a woman named Miss Zhang. Now, with the help of a Taoist master, she's about to do something most of us can barely imagine. She's going to consciously leave her physical body and step into a realm we've only ever heard about in stories. Now, whatever you're picturing when you hear Underworld, you can probably just throw it out. The first thing Miss Zhang sees isn't fire and brimstone, it's something way more ordinary, almost bureaucratic. Think of it like a spiritual processing center. It's calm, it's organized, and it's where souls arrive to get sorted out based on the life they just finished living. And it's right here, in this sort of celestial waiting room, that Ms. Zhang gets her first real lesson in how karma works. She meets 3 different souls, and their stories show just how specific and sometimes unexpected the rules of karma can be. This is so fascinating. You see the rules of the game laid out right here. You have a pious woman, and because of her devotion, her path is smooth and peaceful. Simple enough. But then, look at the 8-year-old boy. He's safe and sound, not because of what he did, but because his mother's good deeds are creating a sort of spiritual protection for him. It's like karmic inheritance. And then there's the 98-year-old man. He lived a long life, but his harmful words, his mouth karma, have him stuck. He can't move on until he repents for the damage he did just by talking. Okay, so the calm, orderly part of the tour is officially over. Miss Zhang is now guided deeper into the parts of the underworld where justice is served, and what she sees is genuinely terrifying. The change in atmosphere is immediate. All that quiet bureaucracy just vanishes. It's replaced by pure, raw terror. She's arrived at a place called the Heart Drilling Camp. Now, here's the most important thing to understand about this. This isn't just random punishment. It has a very specific purpose. The justice here is designed to make the person who caused harm feel the exact same pain and fear that their victim felt. It's a brutal, direct lesson in empathy. The scene she describes is just horrific. Souls are hanging from trees over this massive pit filled with venomous snakes. The snakes swarm them, bite them, burrow into them. But again, it's not just about the pain. It's about forcing a complete change in perspective. In this camp, the hunter is finally forced to feel what it's like to be the prey. So after leaving that scene of physical horror, Ms. Zhang enters a completely different kind of punishment zone. Here, the pain isn't so much physical as it is emotional. The air isn't filled with screams of terror, but with the sounds of weeping, of deep, soul-crushing regret. She's in the Karma Purification Pavilion. This is where women who in life committed acts of fraud, adultery, or caused harm through the sex trade face the consequences. And it's here that she hears one soul's story that serves as this incredibly powerful cautionary tale. This woman had used her looks to run scams on older men, stealing their money. But her ill-gotten gains didn't last. At just 32, she got a terminal illness, and every penny she had stolen went to paying her medical bills. The thing she cried about to Miss Zhang, she said, "I earned all that money, but I had no life left to spend it." And now, her afterlife is just an endless cycle of punishment and regret. All right, so after witnessing all that intense punishment and darkness, the whole journey takes a turn. The focus shifts away from just retribution and more towards understanding, redemption, and the chance for healing. So then, Miss Zhang comes to this amazing place, a huge hall where souls listen to sacred teachings. But here's the wild part. The hall isn't a fixed size. The walls literally expand and contract. Why? Well, it's a spiritual barometer. The more souls that need teaching, the bigger the hall gets, which is a grim sign that morality back in the living world is on the decline. This next part is also super interesting. She learns that different kinds of funerary rites have very different jobs. Buddhist chanting, she's told, is for the soul itself. It soothes its spiritual essence, kind of like calming it down. But Taoist rituals, they're for cleansing the karmic baggage and energetic junk left over from the physical body. It's like you need both to make sure the soul can move on peacefully. And now, we get to the absolute peak of the entire journey. Miss Chang is brought before Ksitigarbha. For those who don't know, a bodhisattva is basically an enlightened being who has put off their own final nirvana out of pure compassion to stay and help all of us. And Ksitigarbha's specific vow is to empty the hell realms of all suffering souls. What happens next is this beautiful, formal, 4-step blessing. First, she gets a wordless heavenly book to boost her wisdom. Then, the bodhisattva gives her 3 gentle taps on the head, a direct blessing. After that, she drinks the sweet, holy water from his lotus seat. And for the final step, she uses that same water to wash herself, purifying her entire being, her spirit, body, and heart, a moment of total peace. Just when she thinks it's all over, there's one last, kind of playful surprise. A beloved folk deity known as Jigong, or the Mad Monk, just appears. He's famous for being really compassionate, but also a bit of a trickster. He laughs, taps her on the head with his fan, and gives her one last gift, a little black pill. But it's not for her. It's a blessing for her to take back to her son in the living world. So as Mrs. Zhang's consciousness finally starts coming back to her own body, this whole overwhelming, incredible experience starts to settle, and it boils down to a few really powerful truths. And here's the #1 takeaway, the most important lesson of all. You can leave everything else behind, your house, your job, your family, everything. But your karma, that follows you. It is the one inescapable summary of your life. And the whole journey leaves us, and her, with this kind of haunting question that connects that spiritual realm directly to our own minds. Thinking back to that horrific snake pit, the guide's warning echoes. If you dream of snakes, what is your own conscience trying to tell you? Because in the end, what this account really suggests is that the underworld isn't some place where an angry judge is waiting for you. No, it's a place of perfect, unavoidable self-reflection. It's not a legend, it's a mirror for your soul, where you have no choice but to finally face the person you chose to be.